everyone, thanks for visiting my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Carol, the Thrifty Chic Housewife, and I'm glad that you stopped by. If you enjoy the content that you find on my channel, please consider subscribing, like and share my videos, and follow me on social media. I will leave all the links in the description box below. So today we have some more delicious fall canning going on. Sorry, no Carol twist on this one. We're just going to be canning up pumpkin plain so that we can use it later on this month and in November to make some yummy pumpkin treats. And one of those is going to be a homemade pumpkin pie. But we got to get it canned up, right? So we have it on our shelves. And speaking of canning, if you are a canner or you're interested in canning, which I'm assuming you are since you clicked on this video, I've recently started a Facebook group for canners, and we would love to have you join us if you are interested in learning about safe canning with like-minded people. I've got a lot of wonderful people a part of my group. It's just a really fun group of people, very kind, sweet, funny. It's a great place to be. So if you would like to join us, we would love to have you. So please check out Canning with Carol and Friends on Facebook. So today, back to the video, we're going to be canning up pumpkin. It's pretty straightforward, really simple. You just need some pie pumpkins, and you can find them at the grocery store. They're the smaller pumpkins. They're labeled either a pie pumpkin or a sweet pumpkin. So you're going to need those, and then we're just going to need a little bit of water. We need to cut them up, remove the rind, cut up the flesh, and in 1-inch cubes, and then we need to cover it with water and boil them for 2 minutes, and then we're ready for canning. So really simple, straightforward stuff here, and I think we should get started. Okay, you're gonna need a really sharp knife to do this. So I'm gonna use my larger knife to cut the pumpkin. So I don't have to cut through the stem. I think I'm gonna cut that off. You wanna make sure that you are very careful when cutting up pumpkins. Okay, so once you cut off the stem, then you can turn it up on end and it gives you a nice flat surface to work with. And then we want to cut it in half. And then we're going to scoop out the seeds. You also want to make sure that you get rid of all the stringy stuff. We don't want any of that in our pumpkin that we're going to can up. Okay, once you dig out all of the seeds and most of the stringy stuff, then the best thing that I have found to do it, you can tell I've tried a slew of knives. You need sharp knives to do this. You want to go ahead and turn it not long ways. You want it the other way, and then cut 1-inch slices. This gives you more stability doing it this way. And then if you have any stringy stuff that you couldn't get rid of digging it out with the spoon or your hands, you can just go ahead and trim that off. And then you're going to peel your pumpkin. And then you're going to cut the flesh in approximately 1-inch pieces. Okay, that's a job. I'm not gonna lie. The sharper your knives are, the easier it would be. So I guess I know what I need to ask hubby for. For Christmas, my knives are not very good anymore. So anyway, you need a larger, like chef's knife to do your major cutting, and then you're gonna need a larger paring knife to peel it. So I got them all cut up, and what we need to do now is I've covered them covered my cubes with just enough water to cover, not very much. And then we're gonna bring them to a boil and boil for 2 minutes, and then we're ready for canning. So the hardest part is all your prep work, all of the cutting and peeling and all that. So while that is happening, I'm gonna get my canner and my jars ready. I brought my pumpkin cubes up to a boil and boiled them for 2 minutes, so now we are all set for canning. I'm going to be canning in pints. Processing time for pints is 55 minutes. If you are processing in quarts, your time is 90 minutes. I also wanted to mention that this is also how you would process any winter squash. So it's not just pumpkin. Any type of winter squash is processed the same way. We cannot mash or puree our pumpkin. It has to be canned in chunks. It's a density issue for heat penetration. So no mashing, no pureeing. We're going to do it in chunks, but when we get ready to use it for the things that we're going to be making, like our pumpkin pie, we will process it in a food processor or mash it however you want to do it prior to doing that. So anyway, we are all set for canning. I washed my jars and I'm keeping them hot in a sink full of hot water. I washed my lids, set them aside. Modern canning guidelines state that you don't need to pre-sterilize, not wash. You do have to wash your jars and lids. You don't need to pre-sterilize them if you are going to be canning for 10 minutes or more. And we are. So I'm all ready to go. I'm going to be using my All-American pressure canner. Pumpkin and squash are low acid foods, so we must pressure can them. You cannot water bath or steam can this. I have my rack in the bottom of my canner with 3 inches of almost simmering water hanging out there and waiting for me. So I'm going to bring you in close and we'll start canning. So we are ready to go. We are looking for a 1-inch headspace. So we're going to ladle in our pumpkin chunks first. Kind of shake your jar to get them to settle down in there. And then we're going to ladle in our cooking liquid to the 1-inch headspace. Okay, once you get your jars to the 1-inch headspace, you want to use your debubbling tool, a chopstick, or a plastic butter knife to release your air bubbles. So just go around your jar, poke around in there. Make sure all of your cubes are covered with your cooking liquid. And then make sure your headspace is correct. Then we're going to take a paper towel dipped in white vinegar and we're going to clean the rims of our jars. Then take your lid and center it on your jar. And then add your rings to fingertip tight. And then lift them in your canner. Okay guys, I got 8 pint jars out of my pumpkins. I like to take the vinegar I was using to clean the rims. I use what's left of that, which is usually a couple of tablespoons. I put it in my canning water so that any minerals that are in my water won't collect on the outside of my jars and make them cloudy and ugly looking. It keeps them nice and pretty during the canning process. So we can go ahead and put on our lid. For the All-American canner, you want to line up your arrow with your notch, and then you are going to tighten your thumb screws 2 at a time, opposites. And then we are going to crank our heat up to high, and we are going to bring our canner up to where it starts, steam starts coming out of our vent. Once steam starts coming out of our vent in a steady stream, then we can start what's called venting. So we'll let that happen for 10 minutes. Once that our 10 minutes are up, then we can put our weight on and bring our canner up to temperature and then start our processing time. So when we get there, I'll bring you back. Make sure that you know your altitude so that you know what PSI you're supposed to be canning at. I'm under 1,000 feet, so I'm always canning for that, which is usually what you see in your canning books for those who are new, and I'm canning at 10 PSI. So anyway, once we start venting, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, we have a steady stream of steam coming out of our steam vent, so we're gonna let that happen for 10 minutes. Hopefully you can see what's going on there. And for those of you who are new, just to familiarize yourself with what you're looking for, you need a nice steady stream of steam, and you can also hear your jars kind of moving around a little bit in your canner. So we'll do that for 10 minutes. I'll bring you back and then we will add our weight. Okay guys, it's time to add our weight, so make sure you know your correct PSI and just take your weight and put it on your vent. I know some of you are concerned about doing that, but you watch me, I didn't get burned, so there's really not a concern. It just will go right on, and you really don't need to worry about getting burned with putting that on. So anyway, we are going to bring this up to temperature. My weight should start rocking and rolling when I'm at approximately 240 degrees. And once it starts rocking and rolling, then we can start timing. Okay, we are ready to start timing. We're processing pints, so our time is going to be 55 minutes. We do not want our weight rocking this hard the whole time, so you need to adjust your heat so that it rocks 1 to 4 times a minute, depending on your canner. And there are canners that have a weight that rocks consistently throughout the entire process. So make sure you understand what needs to happen with your canner. For the All-American canner, we need to rock about 1 to 3 times a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly decrease my heat. And it should, for those of you who are new, I talked about this in my previous video for canning sweet potatoes. It should rock and then stop, and then rock and then stop, and that sequence should happen 1 to 4 times a minute. So anyway, I'm going to reduce my heat and we're going to process for 55 minutes and then I will bring you back. Okay, for those of you who are new, just want to bring you in and let you hear what you're looking for. Okay, see, it was rocking, then it stopped. Now it's rocking again. So that's what you're looking for. Rock, stop, 1 to 3 times a minute. So I hope that helps you guys. I really want to take the fear out of pressure canning, so any way I can help, that's what I'm trying to do. So anyway, that's what should happen. 1 to 4 times a minute. Okay guys, we are back. When my canning time was up, I went ahead and turned my heat off, and my canner has returned to 0 pressure. But I wanted to make a point of this because I have had this question. So when you return to 0 pressure, you can remove your weight at that point, and then you wait 10 minutes and remove your lid. But the question is, when you lift your weight, if you still hear pressure, should you take the weight off? And the answer is no. So I just tried to take mine off and I could still hear it. So I wanted to bring you in and let you hear what I'm hearing so you know what to look for, especially for those of you who are new. You can still hear that there's some pressure in there. So in that case, I always gently lift it. If I can still hear that, I will put the weight back down and wait another minute or two and then check again and see if the pressure, if it's still trying to depressurize, or if there's steam still coming out. So I do that until there's no more, you don't hear that sound anymore. The problem is if you go ahead and take it off, you can experience some siphoning, and we don't like that to happen. So just be aware to just gently lift up your weight when it's time. If you still hear some steam coming out, put the weight back down and wait until you don't hear that anymore. And that should help with siphoning. So I hope that answers that question for you guys, and I hope that clarifies things for those of you who are new. So we'll wait a few more minutes, and then I will go ahead and take my weight off, wait my 10 minutes, and then I'll bring you back so that we can see our pumpkin. Okay guys, we are all done. I waited for there to not be any more steam coming out of my vent. And then I removed my weight, waited 10 minutes and remove the lid, and I've let them sit another 5 minutes or so, but they are all done. Look at how beautiful that pumpkin is. So pretty. I'm excited to use this. This is going to be fun to use this in recipes. Like I said, when you can it up, please don't mash it or puree it. That's not safe to do that. And I'll be showing you, if you're not familiar, how to use it from this form to turn it into a pureed form for us to use in cakes, pies, all that fun stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me today. Just got the word that apparently our jar and lid shortage is going to be extended through March. The parent company of Ball, Bernardin, and Kerr, they are not going to be shipping any canning supplies until March. I'm very sad and kind of alarmed, I guess. It's a little scary telling a canner that there are no supplies. It's like telling a baker there's no more flour. So anyway, I am going to continue to can on my channel. I don't want to I know you guys have struggled getting canning supplies, and it's not my goal to make anyone feel badly because they don't have the supplies to can. I do have a stash. I don't know that I have 6 months worth, but I do have a stash, and I will continue to put up canning videos, but I'm also going to throw up some other things, more things into the mix. Thinking maybe do 2 canning videos a month until we have more supplies. So I'll still do canning, but we'll do some other things. I've gotten into fermenting and dehydrating, so I'll be adding some of those to my channel. And obviously cooking, that's always a fun thing, and you guys seem to enjoy that. So I'm not going to stop canning, but I just wanted you to know that I am aware of the shortage, and if you're not aware, now you know, so don't even expect to find anything really. Whatever is in stores now is all that's going to be there until March. So anyway, I know that's not the news we wanted. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed coming along with me today. Make sure you let your jars sit undisturbed 12 to 24 hours. Then remove the bands, check your seals, wash your jars, and label them and store them in a cool, dark, dry place. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and have a great day, guys.